only this conversation now felt like doom and gloom and judgment. I told her point blank, the Lord never tell me that. I said, well, him tell you gonna do your thing.
Purpose. He is DaRoN. He's on a journey. Walk with him to uncover the untold stories one by one. It's a chat with DaRoN. This episode of A Chat with DaRoN is brought to you by Pure Music Studios at 210 Mountain View Avenue in Kingston, Chops Metal Work and Hardware Supplies at Sydenham Commercial Old Harbour Road in Spanish Town, Clark's Hardware Supplies, and Everything Anthony Media. Hi, welcome to A Chat with DaRoN. My name is DaRoN Smith. Today's guest is a spiritual songbird, a conscious lyricist. She is an award-winning recording artiste with songs such as Still Breathing, River Jordan, and her mega hit, Church Medley. She is a former student of the Merle Grove High School and Edna Manley College. She is a spiritual, powerful, anointed woman of God, Rhoda, Faith, and Adiman. You know her as Rhoda Isabella. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, DaRoN.
Did I get the intro correctly?
Powerful
So
intro.
good to have you.
So good to be here.
Who is Rhoda Isabella?
Rhoda is just a fun, loving person. Love people, love music, love food. Just love life. That's who Rhoda is.
Wonderful. Tell us, you grew up in the church.
Yeah.
Was it easy for you to stay focused growing up in the church?
I think my easiest years were ages 1 to 9. After that, the challenges started and, God started showing me purpose from early on and the challenges made way and found me.
You were singing from you were in grades, what? Basic school?
Basic school. 5 years old.
Your father told me that he said that you are a star at age 6.
Yeah. Yes, he did say that. He told me that. My father was the first person that realized I could sing. I don't know if it's God telling him or I'm just see the natural inclination, but he used to take us, me and my older brother at the time, Nathan, he would take us around his keyboard and just teach us songs, teach us the lyrics and the melody, and we'd just be singing. I remember when he used to record us on a little tape on the radio back then, and we'd re-listen it, and I don't know if I can find one of them now, but those are a great times.
That's how it started.
That's where it started for me.
Where did you, grow up as a child?
I was born in Kingston and raised in Doheny Park until I was 8 years old. Doheny Park, Kingston.
And then you went to Spanish Town.
Then moved to Spanish Town at 8 years old. Spent pretty much the rest of my life there. And I recently moved back to Kingston in 2019.
All right, tell us, how was high school for you?
High school days. My high school days were fun. I think I had some of the craziest friends, some of the most adventurous friends, and talented friends as well. So my friendship started when I joined the school choir at Merle Grove from first form. That's where I met Alicia Taylor. At the time, she was Alicia Foster. And my friend Shauna, we're all now friends, just the same. And those days were fun. The days me get in the most trouble. Do some wrong things too.
Did you participate in any co-curricular activities? Sports?
No sports. Always wanted to try netball because all my cousins on my mother's side, they play netball very well. All my aunts play netball very well. But I guess it's the path that the Lord had for me. he had made that way for me with music from early. So the more I wanted to get involved with netball, is the more involved I actually got in music. So I never found the space and the time to do it.
So you started out singing in church.
Yeah.
And then later on moved to doing background vocals for Jermaine Edwards.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Fresh out of high school. So in church, grew up on the choir. As I said, my father was always in the background encouraging the choir director. I grew up seeing my father as the choir director at the time for the women's choir in the church. I learned that he was the director for all the choirs because they had about 4 choirs there. And so grew up just seeing my father kind of work out harmonies, finding songs and stuff like that to teach the choir. My father is a real pro at song selection, and he can choose the best songs, you know. So grew up under that, and then at about young age, probably about age 6 or so, I was on the little children's choir in the church. You know, grew up there as well and singing and all of that, but not so much leading until when I got to about 9 now, I started to realize that, this not just singing along with everybody, but I actually had something that was special. So I was the youngest member on the youth choir. I was on the youth choir at 11 years old. Really? Yeah. Everybody else was like in their 20s. I was the only one at 11. And I remember going to choir practice one Friday night, and the choir director told me, "You're going to teach the altar line tonight." Mm-hmm. And I said, "What?" You know, so nervous, not knowing that I had this gift to not just sing, but teach. Wow. You know, and that's where it started for me. And then being on the choir, being on the worship team, right throughout that time, starting Merle Grove now, being on the Merle Grove choir, started Merle Grove at age 11 as well, first form. Yes. Yeah, I was like a prodigy child, so I way ahead of things. Way ahead. Started primary school at 5, so I was always ahead of the age group and the stream. At the end of my high school tenure now, in 2007, 6th form, I was in a group, myself, Alicia Taylor, and my other friend, as I told you, we're in a group called Triple S. Mm-hmm. And then we used to represent the school. It was a big thing. Anytime. Triple S? What stands for the S? Because you're Rhoda. So. And she's Alicia. It meant soul-seeking sisters. Okay. So we call ourselves Triple S. Yeah, and we just started representing the school all over. We went to ISCF, and that was our debut. One day, somebody from, I think it was JC, invited us to his church because he was having a concert. And we went to that concert, found out that we were actually opening for the then fledgling artist, Jermaine Edwards. Mm-hmm. So that was the first time we saw Jermaine, heard him and everything. I wasn't too in tune with local gospel at the time, to be honest. I was kind of big on the Kirk Franklin and Mary and that kind of genre of music. But Jermaine reached out to us after that event, and that started the relationship with him. And I started as a backup singer. Wow. From then. And then later on came I Worship the Group. Worship. Mm-hmm. Under the auspices of Island Worship Records. Right. Tell us about it. Jermaine had us as his prized background vocalist. Just recently I was doing an interview with Jason Mighty, and I didn't realize that the whole industry kind of looked up to us as young background vocalists at the time. Jason's words were, Jermaine are the best background vocalist in gospel music. Everybody know that. I never know that. That was new to me. And you were a part of it. And I was a part of it. So one day Jermaine made us an offer and said that he wanted to produce an album with us. Asked me, "You can write music?" We said, "Yes, can write." And him say he want to produce an album with us. I was already, as I said, we entered Jermaine's ministry from a group, from Triple S.
Triple S.
Grew up in church. Group was the order of the day for me. It's my heart and sentiments wrapped up in groups, harmonies, choir, all of that. So I just saw it as something fun and something I'd love to be a part of, and iWorship came as a result of that.
How was it, transitioning from, background vocalist to being a part of a group now? iWorship, you had the album launch, and then, not long after the group dissipated, what happened?
It felt pretty much like the same to me, transitioning from a backup singer to now a member of a group, because it's the same. You're singing your harmonies. Yeah. Well, we weren't singing leads that much, unless Jermaine would give us an opportunity to sing one of his verses in his songs. But it was more in depth now, and it was kind of a little bit different, but the same. So I still for me had that shelter of other people on the stage, and never ever feeling alone or feeling like, oh, you're on your own, or you have to do this by yourself. So I always had that support. That part of it was amazing. We were great friends, so it really worked. But moving from that now into the group, being resolved, that was very hard. It wasn't something that I wanted. It was a heartbreaking experience for me. I remember after iWorship launched their album in 2016, Jermaine decided that he wanted to do a compilation album with all the artists that were under the label Island Worship. And that album was launched in January 2017. The name of that album is Dominion. And right after the Dominion hit now, so iWorship, I didn't say this, iWorship started with Gavin Hart and Alicia and myself. Gavin had decided to leave iWorship prior to the Dominion launch because he said he wanted to just do some other things. So we said, all right, cool, no problem. So it was just Alicia and I. So we were all excited again and going forward with the group. I'm looking forward to probably doing a new album, doing some new music. Then after Dominion, Alicia just came to me and said, she feel like the Lord is saying to her that she should branch out and do her own ministry, and I should branch out and do my own ministry, because she noticed that sometimes when we're on stage, she's ministering and then she have to cut to let me do my verse, and then I would be ministering and I have to cut. So she felt like it messed with the flow, and we weren't able to live out what God wanted us to do. I told her point blank, the Lord never tell me that. I said, well, him tell you gonna do your thing. He never tell me that. So I was still there as a backup singer. So I had now reverted from iWorship. Remember, start as backup, go to iWorship. Now me gone back a backup.
Yes.
So I found myself singing now with Jermaine still. I was the only singer that Jermaine had, continuing from who we were before, the team of singers he had before. So, for me, it was I went into depression.
Yes.
It was sad. I say, I put my life on hold for the group. I was supposed to go away to study at Berkeley School of Music, and I put that off. I'd gotten accepted.
Wow.
And put it off because I say, I don't want to be over yonder and the group is here. And I was, my heart and soul.
So you put your personal career, your personal preference, your personal choice, which should have been for the group.
For the group.
And the group let you down.
And the group let me down.
Oh my.
So at this point, it feel like me want the group. Everybody, Gavin first left, and then Alicia said she going to do her ministry on her own. But For me, I saw where she carried something very special, and she has a very beautiful voice. And I said, Ali, go ahead and do your thing if that's what you hear the Lord is saying. So I wasn't rebutting that at all. But for me, it just put me in a spot now. I say, I've never seen myself
as a
solo act before that. Never. So I just reverted to singing background vocals. Was there for a while until the Lord literally made me uncomfortable. I started to lose the taste for wanting to be in the gospel music industry. I started to become tired of rehearsals, tired of studio session for lay on background vocals, tired of everything. I was just tired. I had a thing where I used to just say, I just want to go home and cook my husband dinner.
And then time you have no husband.
I mean, I have no husband. I wasn't even dating. I was during that period. I was single for about 6-7 years before I ever dated anybody during that time. So, but I guess I was prophesying on my own. But God was doing a great work, and I believe He made me uncomfortable. Sometimes God has to shake the foundation where you sit on and make you uncomfortable so that your heart can say, all right, God, what you want me to do? You tell me what you want me to do. Because I'm uncomfortable now.
That's powerful.
So that's the place the Lord took me to. I got uncomfortable. I went into fasting and prayer. I went into isolation. I remember at the time, I guess it's faith again. I started to say to myself, the name Isabella sound nice, man. Sound like a nice name. Sound like a name where my mother give my daughter. So I started to think along that line. And I don't know why, I just started to call myself Rhoda Isabella. I changed my name on all my social media platforms to Rhoda Isabella, without a song, without, as I say, I didn't want ministry. I didn't want to do solo. I wanted the group. You understand? So I started to seek the Lord now and started to get some feedback from people around me. People I value their opinion, and say, what do you think? I want to put on this thing. I just want to come out of the industry. I don't want to be a backup singer. I just want to sing in my church, probably continue to direct the choir, because I became a choir director in church from about 18 years old. And, everybody was saying to me, no, Rhoda, you can't done with music. You can't done with music. God have a call for your life. But I was not convinced. At the time, in 2017 now, I was dating a young man who is now my fiancé.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to get into it a little later.
We can. No, I won't go any further on that, but I just wanted to insert the fact that during that time when we were dating, he was the person that I said to him, I want to be done with music. Done, I'm tired. I'm grow uncomfortable now about this. What do you think? He said to me, well, if that's your decision, if you want to be done with it, that's up to you. But I don't think you're done. I feel like the Lord have more. There is more for you to do in the kingdom.
Yes.
I'm saying, I start refute it, and everything he said, I had another explanation for it. Him say, all right, do you think? Just know that, when we have our children, I will just tell them that your mother is a great woman of God, but she just decided that she don't want to pursue ministry. She don't want to do this. She don't want to fulfill her purpose.
Utilize the talent.
Yeah. When somebody kind of said that to you like that, it make you
that's powerful.
Draw back. And for me, that's when it hit me. I literally heard the voice of the Lord speaking through him. And I said, wow. For that night, after that conversation, I couldn't sleep. I went into deep prayer. And I saying, God, if it is your will, You have to make a way. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know nothing about being an artist. I don't know nothing about that. I mean, working with Jermaine for so long, I've seen some stuff, but more the same I know, you know. And the Lord started to speak to me and show me how to go about things, tell me who to be my manager, and tell me who I forgot to for produce my music and all of that. Yeah. So I was obedient from the start. And I just decided that I'm gonna step out by faith.
We were talking before we actually start rolling the cameras, and I want us to touch on that. You published or you launch your album,
Right.
and in the light of that, persons were excited, persons were celebrating you.
Yeah.
But you were asked to apologize.
Yeah.
By your church.
By my church.
Why?
All right. So I was told that the reason I'm apologizing is because I missed church for a few Sundays. But it didn't sit well with me when I was given that reason. But let's just go back a little bit. I remember in 2018 when I decided, coming out of 2017 now, as I say, and the Lord said, do this. And I got the word from the young man that I was dating, and I said, all right, I'm gonna do this, Lord, if this is what you want. I did a live recording one day and did a series of songs. I only had 2 songs that I wrote. I did them on the live recording as well. Still Breathing was one, and there's another song that still has not been released yet. And then I did a cover, which everybody know now to be the Church Medley. Yes, so those were... Oh, and Lest I Forget. That one is also up on YouTube. And I just released them, not even thinking much, not even trying to promote it, really. Just doing some music and putting it out.
You didn't have to promote the Church Medley. That was fire.
Boy, God had his way. God really, really had his way. And when I realized that the Church Medley went viral, I said, whoa, this thing look like it's bigger than me. It's out of my hands. So at this point now, I say, I'm going to speak to my pastor. My pastor at the time was a female pastor. I went and spoke to her, told her about... I think I even gave her a backdrop of where I'm coming from with Jermaine and everything, leading up to where I am now and what I hear the Lord is saying for my life. And I want to do a project. So I told her. And she said, yes, man. She was excited about it. She said, yes, man. When I get the chance, she always want to record some music too. So I said, okay. She said, when I get the chance, if I could get some information for her concerning doing recordings.
Really?
I'd find out the cost and all of that. And I said, okay, no problem. Went and did the checks because the producer I was working with at the time went and bounced everything off. I was actually surprised because I was nervous going to talk to her about doing music outside of church because it wasn't something I saw anybody doing in the church I came from. But she said it was a go and all
must
the
have
best.
been excited
Yes.
about the response.
God bless you and everything. And I said, okay. Went and got the information that she requested and brought it back to her. So started the album after that and was, fully on board doing everything. And all of a sudden, a few weeks before I launched my album in 2019, May. And a few weeks before launching the album, I said, okay, let me go and speak to my pastor again. I just felt the urge to go and speak to her because I wanted to be accountable to someone. I always believed in that.
Right.
So went and started to follow up from our last conversation. Only this conversation now felt like doom and gloom and judgment.